Hi, welcome to Akarita Yamim, the Latter Days. Today we continue with another episode of our Paul Problem series. We're going to take a look at a really quick topic. This ties in with the principle that was laid out in the very beginning in the law of Moses, in the Torah, which is on the testimony of 2 or 3 witnesses, a matter is established. And we're going to compare what the Torah says, what Yeshua says, with the words of Paul. And yet again, we're going to see if it lines up. So let's begin. Let's go back to the Torah. We're going to begin in the book of Deuteronomy. Let's look at Deuteronomy chapter 17. Deuteronomy chapter 17. Let's look at verse 6. Whoever is deserving of death shall be put to death on the testimony of 2 or 3 witnesses. These are separate individuals, different people that come and bear witness, having the same testimony. He shall not be put to death on the testimony of 1 witness. Okay? So again, 2 or 3 witnesses. This is not somebody coming, the same person coming 2 or 3 times to say the same thing. These are 2 or 3 unique individuals, different individuals. Okay? This is very, very important. Let's go now to chapter 19, and let's look at verse 15. 1 witness shall not rise against a man concerning any iniquity or any sin that he commits. By the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, the matter shall be established. So again, this is dealing with 2 or 3 individuals, not 1 individual making 2 or 3 appearances to deliver the same message. Okay? Let's look now at Yeshua's words. Let's look at John chapter 8. John 8, and let's look at verse 17. Okay, Yeshua says, verse 17, it is also written in your Torah that the testimony of 2 men, 2 different men, is true. 2 men, okay? Now that we've seen what the Torah taught, now that we've seen what Yeshua taught, let's see what Paul understood. Let's see how Paul understood this requirement. Let's look at 2 Corinthians chapter 13. And let's look at verse 1. Paul says, this will be the 3rd time I am coming to you. And then he quotes the Torah. He says, by the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, every word shall be established. Do you see how he twists the Torah? I hope you see this. Paul is ripping a verse out of the Torah, completely twisting it to say something that it does not, in any way, shape, or form, say. The Torah, once again, says, by the mouth of 2 or 3 individual men, a matter is established. But what is Paul using that verse to say? This will be the 3rd time I'm coming to you. By the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, every word shall be established. He's completely abusing a Torah verse. He's completely twisting a verse from the Torah and misapplying it to his situation. And he does this with many other topics. It's just most people don't take the time to look up the passages that Paul is quoting, that Paul is referencing. If Paul references something from Tehillim, from Psalms, you better go back and read what it says in Tehillim. You'll usually find that the context is completely different. That Paul is completely misapplying the principle that is laid down in the passage that he's referencing, and instead using it to his own gain, to his own benefit. Okay? So this is a clear indication. Either Paul doesn't understand what the Torah really says, or Paul is lying to you, or Paul is a wolf, as we've discussed in a previous video, the ravening wolf prophecy from Genesis 49. If you haven't seen that, I encourage you to go back and watch that after this video. Okay? Paul's a liar. Paul is a wolf that is in sheep's clothing, that set out to deceive people. That's his whole mission. So that is why he's misusing these passages. He's altering these passages to support whatever he wants them to say. So it's very important that we understand this fact, because otherwise we leave ourselves wide open to be deceived. And again, if you cringe when I say that Paul of Tarsus was a liar, you have to understand that I'm only echoing the words of Yeshua, the words of John. What did Yeshua say in Revelation 2? He said, the congregation at Ephesus tested those who came to them and claimed to be apostles and were not. They were liars. These are Yeshua's words. So don't get upset. Don't get worked up. Don't get triggered when you hear Paul of Tarsus referred to as a liar, because it is in fact the way that Yeshua himself referred to Paul of Tarsus. And remember, Paul by his own mouth admitted that everyone in Asia, which is where Ephesus is located, deserted him. Everyone. They all left him. Why? Revelation 2. Yeshua says they tested those who came to them claiming to be apostles and were not, but were liars. So I hope that this video has been a blessing for you. Continue. If you haven't yet gone through the series from the beginning, I strongly encourage you. Go back. Start at the introduction. Then go to episode 1, episode 2, episode 3. Work your way through. Get the link to the playlist. It's in the video description below. Start at the beginning and work your way through. Go through each episode. The episodes are not long. They're very short. I wanted them to be short, so they're easy for you to consume. And then you need to take time to explore each topic before you move on. So make sure that each charge against Paul is checked off before you move to another one. And that's the way I wanted this series to be laid out. So again, I hope this video was a blessing for you. Continue to seek him while he can still be found. Time is short. We are in the latter days. Continue to seek him while he can still be found. Until next time, shalom.